Gilded Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Alchemy of Us, How Humans and Matter Transformed One Another, by Ainissa Ramirez, narrated by Allyson Johnson. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. Octavia E. Butler. Introduction. Ever since I was 4, I wanted to be a scientist, which made me an unusual little girl in my corner of New Jersey. I was an inquisitive youngster who wanted to know why the sky was blue, why leaves changed color, and why snowflakes had 6 sides. With this perpetual curiosity, I eventually got the idea of becoming a scientist from watching television shows during the late 70s and 80s. Back then, I loved programs like Star Trek, with Spock, The Bionic Woman, and The $6 Million Man. But the show that solidified my path toward science was a public television show called 321 Contact. One of the repeating segments had a young African-American girl solving problems, and when I saw her using her brain, I saw my reflection. Science in my childhood was full of fun and wonder. Years later, however, my dreams of becoming a scientist nearly flatlined as I sat in a science lecture hall with tears welling up in my eyes. The science lectures were far from being any fun or bringing any wonder. In fact, these classes were dry, and the lessons were designed to weed out students. Chemistry courses were prescribed cookbooks, engineering exercises examined the steam engine, and math instruction was unmotivated. I knew these subjects were better than how they were being taught, and I suffered through with the help of mentors, tutors, and many hours in the library. Fortunately, I found a major that returned my wonder, a little-known field called materials science, where I learned that everything in our world is the workings of atoms. Materials science is a bit like my home state of New Jersey because it is wedged between 2 more well-known entities. For New Jersey, they are New York City and Philadelphia. For materials science, they are chemistry and physics, and just like New Jersey, materials science has not been able to make a case for itself of how great it is on its own. If there were no city of brotherly love or Big Apple, New Jersey would have been a fine and respectable state. It might have done well if it was located somewhere west, like next to Iowa, for New Jersey has its own history, its own culture, and certainly its own attitude. But the Garden State is overshadowed by its overpowering neighbors. The same holds for materials science. Despite my penchant for unappreciated states and science majors, I loved materials science.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?